Hello everybody, welcome to this sixth episode of the Bible Online Learner tutorial series. In this episode I would like to focus on grading students, thus how to grade your students who are using the Bible Online Learner for exercises, quizzes, and other materials. So I want to address particularly the instructors, language instructors, professors and teachers among you, and in order to start with the whole grading procedure, I would like to introduce you to another website. This website is called statdb, so statdb.3bmoodle.dk. It's a partner site, and it actually uses the output, the exercise output of your students, and organizes it in kind of simple spreadsheets, so you can get easy access to the exercises of the students that you're having in your class. So on the left you see the Bible Online Learner, you see my username and my password. Both username and password are identical for this other site. So when you have a username and a password for the Bible Online Learner, when you have a native account here with the Bible Online Learner, and I assume all of you do since you're teachers, then you're able to use the same login information here for this site, statdb.3bmoodle.dk. So I'm logging here to the Bible Online Learner. I also log here to this statdb. It's basically the statistics database site. So while we log in here to the statdb site, it will take quite a while. It's a site that is not officially supported anymore, but I use it on a regular basis for grading my students. Just have patience, and it will log you in. So before we focus here on this statdb website, I just want to make sure that you are familiar with the learning journey. So in the learning journey, you can, as an instructor, use the gradebook. It's still work in progress, but it has already quite some functionality that you could use in order to see what your students are doing. So let's click here, for example, a student that I had in the summer semester, let's take a more recent student that I'm having now, 2018, for example. Let's pick a good student of mine. Let's see, look at Ruben Vargas. So I can click on the student that I'm having that I had enrolled in my summer class, and now I get an overview on all the exercises that this student has done. You see the answers he has given, you see the percentage of right answers that he has given, and then there's a grade that the site suggests. So if you want to have a look at, for example, an exercise that you didn't do that well, for example here, day 14 word frequency, you can now click on the exercise that you did, and now you can see exactly what answers he missed. You see here in the third column you have answers, in the left column you have value. That is what he should have, what the student should have or could have answered. And then the first column, correct, 1 means it's correct or it's accepted as a correct answer, 0 means it is not accepted as a correct answer. And here you see actually the word that the student was supposed to answer. And so, for example, here a Chevy Im answer would have been 7, and the answer that the student gave was also 7. Let's go down here. For example, the student was supposed to answer hem, that was the question, hem, and the student left it unanswered, which would have been they. Or berit, obviously, was the word that was shown to the student, and he confused it with bereshit, I think, reshit. Okay, good. So this is an excellent way for you to see what your students are doing. Go to the learning journey, they're on Gradebook, look up your student, and obviously only those students are visible that are enrolled in your class, and you can simply search them, pick them up, and then you click on the student name, and you will get access to all the exercises that your student was actually doing. So here another student, you see that these are all the exercises the student did. Here are the answers, here's the percentage, here are the scores that the student received in doing this particular exercise. Okay, so this is one part of the Bible Online Learner. For that you don't need this other site. Now, I use this site here, the Learning Journey Online, the statistics server. I use it in order for grading according to my style. And in my style, I grade the student not on the average score he or she receives on an exercise that he or she is doing, but I actually always grade the best run. So in order to get quick access to your student, go to Individual Journeys. And once you have clicked on Individual Journeys, you will actually get this drop-down window, which will show you all the classes that presently exist on the Bible Online Learner. So you click here, and now you see, for example, my Hebrew 1 class of the fall semester 2018. I see, obviously, I'm a system administrator, so I also have access to all the other classes, which you shouldn't. You just see the classes that you have created. So let's go here, for example, to this Hebrew 2 summer course 2018 that I was teaching. Once I click, or once you click, once you choose your course, then you will get only those students who actually enrolled in your course. So let's go to here a student that we had, and we see here all the exercises that the student did. Now, this first exercise that he was supposed to do was this day 4 vocab exercise. Oh no, it was actually day 2 vocab exercise. Here we are, and you see that the student did this day 2 vocab exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And you see here actually exactly the date, the time when the student was taking it. Take into account that the time shown is actually Copenhagen time. So depending where you are in the world, you will have to add or subtract some hours in order to make it fit your time zone. In my case, I'm living in the Eastern Standard Time region, so I have to actually subtract 6 hours. So in this case, it's 1:16 after midnight, and then if you subtract 6 hours, we'll get here at 7 o'clock in the evening, 7:16 p.m. Detroit time, so to say, when the student was taking these exercises. And then you see that in the columns, basically all necessary information is given for you to grade. You see one column is how many seconds you needed in order to get a right answer, how many answers were correct, how many answers were wrong, how many correct answers per minute, accuracy, proficiency. You probably don't care about these last 2 columns. So what I'm doing is, let's go back here to this day 2 exercise, day 2 vocab exercise. What I'm doing is I have a look at these 6 runs that the student was doing. I'm looking at which one was the best one. Obviously here he has great runs. Everything is correct. Everything's correctly answered. So therefore I pick this run and I give him 100% a straight A. Right? He needed just 4.7 seconds per right answer. The student was typing blazing fast. 26 words he answered correctly, 0 he answered wrong, so that's a straight A. So that's how I'm grading, and I think most of my colleagues that I know using the Bible Online use this tool too, because it allows them to grade according to their own grading scale. So I hope this was helpful. Just remember there are 2 ways to access student performance. On the Bible Online Learner itself, you can click on Learning Journey Gradebook, and there you pick your student that you want to grade, or the student that you want to see what type of exercises the student did and what type of wrong answers he gave. Perhaps he's complaining that the Bible Online Learner didn't really accept his answer because he thought it was the correct answer. You know, you have regularly these types of students. Well, this site allows you to actually have an exact look at what the student is talking about. So, for example, here I click on the exercise that the student might potentially have complained about, and so then I can look together with the student, or I just look myself to the wrong answers, and I quickly find out whether he's just trying to find an excuse for not having had a good good grading experience or good learning experience, or whether he really actually has a point and something is wrong. Well, I never found the case in the last 2 years that the Bible Online Learner had anything wrong, but it is always the student who doesn't know the word. Yeah, so for example, afar, I think that was the word that the student saw. He should have answered bake, but he answered nose. I guess he confused it with the word af, which is nose. Yeah, so or to do, it was the word asa, to do, but he answered urge. So you can really get a detailed overview on where is my student struggling, what type of answers does he give wrong, and so on. So a great way for approaching details on your student answers. But when it comes to grading, I always use here this other side, the stud side. Make sure that you choose the course that you're teaching, and once you click on that course, you will only see the students who are enrolled in that course, and then you can easily identify the best run of your exercise. So I'm not sure how you're grading, but you can easily find the exercise that the student did, the wrong and right answers, and the minutes that the student, or the seconds that the student needed in order to find the right answer. And then you can grade your student. So just keep in mind that I highly suggest that when you grade your student, you do take into consideration the time that the student uses in order to provide correct answers. With vocab exercises, I tell my students that I'm not accepting any answer that is taking more than 10 seconds. For example, here the student, day 2 vocab, he did that 6 times. You see, the first time he needed almost 32 seconds for right answer. That's half a minute for just thinking about what the meaning of bayit is, for example. Now, if you need half an hour to find out what the word bayit means, then you just don't know the word, even if you finally find it in the dictionary or whatever and type in the right word. So for this exercise, for example, I would give the student an F. Even he had 20 right and 6 wrong. Just the fact that he needed 32 seconds for one right answer tells me he doesn't know the vocab. So I'm saying it needs to be under 10 seconds, and obviously the student was able to get there in the end. He just needed 6 seconds for right answer, and you see he even didn't have any wrong answer anymore. So the student really knew what he was doing, and so I gave him a straight A. Now, if he would have 26 right and 0 wrong, so everything correct, but he needed more than 10 seconds, I would still give him an F, because it indicates that he doesn't know the vocab and he might actually look it up in his vocabulary list or in a dictionary, or is just thinking too long. Okay, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, I would be more than willing to answer them, so just drop them down into the comment section below. Thank you very much. Bye.